Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a Maserati Grecale Trofeo. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Maserati here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this Grecale. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 523 horsepower and then 457 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, I love all of the lines here with the Grecale. It looks very cool, and you can see how it's raised there on either side, and the headlight design. Awesome. And then you got, of course, the Maserati logo. And then down below, it's very open. We also have some carbon fiber trim, but all of that is to feed that twin turbo V6. And putting it all together, I really like the front end design here of the Grecale. It's very sleek. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 255/40/21 on the front and then 295/35/21 in the rear. You guys can see with the wheels, you got the silver mixed with the blacked out elements, got the yellow brake caliper there, and yeah, those tires are basically track tires. Anyways, we've got these body painted fender flares, Trofeo here on the side, and then notice we do have a little bit of silver accenting there on the door handles, and then also the Maserati Trident there on the side. And then here is the full side view with the Grecale. And then taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function. We also have the opening here for the hatch and then the Maserati logo on the back. And then popping into the rear, you guys can see we've got a cargo cover built in from the factory. We have a little 12 volts right there. And then this is for the seats to throw them down. And then you guys can see Maserati down below. And then we have another outlet back here. Tons of practical elements built in. When you're all done, just press this and that'll lower the hatch right back down. Really cool taillight design. You guys can see Grecale there and then Maserati as well. And then carbon fiber diffuser. I mean, look at that. And then also those exhaust tips are aggressive looking. Wrapping things up, let me know what you guys think about the overall design here on the Trofeo. Now taking a look at the door panel here in the back, really nice leather trim here at the top, and I love the stitching that goes across, and then look at the carbon fiber, and then again with more of that trim. Then notice this is all blacked out, that's pretty cool. And then you got the electronic door popper. Really nice stitching here, and then you can see perforated all down the center portion, and then more of the stitching on the side. Legroom in the back is really good. We also have a little storage pocket, heated seats here for the back. We've got vents, and you guys can see the USBs down below. And then have a cup holder armrest as well. And then headroom, it's good. Now taking a look at the front door panel again, you guys can see with the nice trim there, and then look at the stitching that goes across, and then the carbon fiber trim, and all of the nice leather trim down below. Speaker here for the sound system, another one below that, and then all of your controls here for the windows, mirror adjustments as well. And then we do have blind spot mirroring with the mirrors. Maserati Trident there in the headrest, and then perforated all down the center portion. Power adjustments on the side, and then you guys can see with the parking brake here, and then again, look at all of the beautiful leather trim. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see nice trim all around, and I like the kind of like squared off design. Huge paddle shifters there on the back in normal Maserati fashion. You guys saw the engine stops there. You also have the drive mode select on the steering wheel, which is another cool aspect. You got stuff like adaptive cruise control, you got controls for the center stack as well. And speaking of the center stack, you can see full digital gauge cluster here, and then I love the change with the drive modes. I think that kind of adds to the flair with the Grecale. And then this does have a 360 camera system. Resolution with the camera system is really solid. It doesn't really need it because it's not a huge SUV, but it's a nice feature to have nonetheless. And then I guess we'll accept that. There we go. And then as for the infotainment system, shortcut bar here on the side, it does take a second for some of the menus to load up, but overall it's pretty easy to use. I like how you have the little Grecale icon there, by the way. And then there's a secondary screen below it. Also, your transmission selector is in between the two screens. This is like your climate screen, so you can see for the heated and ventilated seats, for example. You can also change the ride height of the vehicle from this screen. So I guess function screen, fun screen in a way. Also, really like this clock here. I think that looks really sharp. And then again, with all the nice trim on the dash, and then also down below, like everything is soft touch inside, which is nice. And then the vents across. They did a really good job with the interior design, I think. Big glove box. And then I guess while we're on the topic of storage, we got more here with the carbon fiber. some cup holders, and then inside of the center console, and then nice yellow stitching and everything continues on the side. And then you can probably see there with the pillar, you've got a nice premium headliner with this, very soft to the touch, and then panoramic sunroof. Okay, guys, so here's our window sticker for the Grecale Trofeo. You guys can see all the standard equipment with it, which is quite a bit of standard. We do have some options though, including the Premium Plus package. Interesting. Anyways, after all options, $124,057 is the total MSRP. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood and hopefully you can see the heads-up display. Both the mirrors, dual blind spot monitoring. Got the rest of the rear. And, well, this transmission selector always trips me up. I'm always looking for like a column shifter or a regular shifter, and I'm like, wait, it's a button. It is a button. But anyways, Trofeo. I am super excited to finally be able to review the Grecale Trofeo. This is the one I've been waiting to review. Don't get me wrong, the regular Grecale is cool, but the Trofeo version here with the Nettuno V6, this is the super exciting one. I mean, this really is the future of Maserati in terms of powertrains, because it looks like they're gonna be putting this in everything moving forward. Really just snappy right off the bat, I can tell you that. I didn't think this was going to feel super torquey. It's got like a lot of torque, but it looks like, you know, whenever you have an engine that has more horsepower than torque, it always, not always, but a lot of times, like, it can sometimes feel like not as torquey, if that makes sense, because it's kind of more focused on horsepower. But this still feels like, feels good. I'm impressed. Genuinely impressed. Smooth ride as well, so that's a plus. I mean, as a luxury car, like, the seats are a little bit on the tighter side of things with the bolstering, but they're very comfortable. But yeah, definitely, you can tell this has sportiness in mind with how this is set up. And by the way, this interior, I'm very impressed with the fit and finish. Like, seriously, Maserati has come such a long way when it comes to material use, build quality, like, all of it is quite impressive. Transmission's extremely responsive. I almost did the engine stop start. So we're just gonna get into throttle a little bit. Oh man, it's got some power. It's got some power. We're gonna pop into the manual mode now. See how the paddle shifters feel with this Trofeo version. I will say this feels very sporty. I just drove a Porsche Macan before this, Macan S. So, you know, not the most comparable to this Trofeo, but I mean, this has similar amounts of responsiveness. Now, I will say this transmission isn't quite as responsive as the dual clutch you have in the Porsche, but it's I mean, for a torque converter automatic, really solid overall. I like the rumble this makes. It has just a nice deep rumble. We're gonna get an acceleration here. Oh, Trofeo! Wow, that's fun. So, to cap things off, this is a serious sport SUV. Would it be cool if it had Maserati's V8 they have in the Levante? Of course, that would be epic. But is this Nettuno V6 super responsive, super fun? Yeah, I love it. I think this powertrain is fantastic. I am super impressed with this overall setup. And again, like I said, the interior fit and finish, like, this is a genuinely, like, upscale feeling car. And it's got just so much power. Wow, craziness. Let me guys think about the Grecale Trofeo, but I am thoroughly impressed.